Hello and welcome to Odyssey Motorsport TV's live coverage of Season 11 of the Tuesday Night main event for the Kansas City Racing League, presented by Dad's Racing Services. LMP3s are at Sebring tonight. I'm TJ Yankee, and in the broadcast booth, with me in the broadcast booth, as always, is Lesean Young-Dilworth. How are we doing tonight, Els?
I am doing great, TJ. We are in for a good race. Sebring LMP3s. It's going to be hopefully not chaos, but it's going to be fun. How are we doing, TJ?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Tonight's race being Season 11, Round 3, the Kansas City Racing League Tuesday night main event, the LMP3 Challenge. We got live race control, deployments of safety cars under certain circumstances, no tire changes, 50% fuel, a single fast repair, 3 classes of LMP3 car over 45 minutes, and bombing around Sebring in these LMP3s with 3 different classes. We're in for some great racing tonight. I'm pretty excited for it. Elle's got any experience around Sebring? I know you do, but what is it and how was it?
Sebring is literally one of my favorite tracks. It's got a bunch of turns. I mean, I've done GT4s, GT3s, GRs, Miatas. Everything fits perfect on this track. I mean, you got turn 1, which is nice and wide. You can get some good opportunities around the outside, inside, in the braking zone, on the exit. Then you got the hairpin, turn 7, I believe it is. That's perfect braking zone for more. Just passes all over the place. And then, of course, you got the last section, the sunset bend. Everybody loves to switch back and to go 3 wide, 4 wide, 12 wide into that corner. So we're going to see some action tonight, TJ. I hope you're ready because I know I am.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely ready. Sebring's one of my favorite circuits. Just like you, I've raced here in a bunch of different disciplines, all the way down to the Volkswagen Jetta. I actually had a really great race here earlier last year in the Jetta. That was a ton of fun. I've been here as a spectator a ton of times for the 12 hours of Sebring. It's a tough track with so many LMP3s. It's going to be challenging for our drivers to stay clean and on those bumpy corners, especially turn 1 and turn 17. It's going to be really wild here. These cars, pretty stiff suspension, so they're going to be jumping around a lot. We'll see how everyone handles that. But let's go ahead and take a moment to recognize our league title sponsor, Dad's Racing Services. So KCRL brings the racing, Odyssey Motorsports TV brings the broadcast, and Dad's Racing Services helps make it all happen. Dad's Racing Services delivers motorsports-grade simulator activities, sim equipment sales, builds, service, and support for events, businesses, venues, teams, and drivers. They're also building towards a larger sim to real life racing opportunities, making this LMP3 championship a perfect fit for a company focused on where sim racing and motorsports meet. So check out their link to the website in the video description below. So jump in on just a reminder, there are plenty of other sponsorship opportunities available on the broadcast. If you have a business, a social media tag, your team, your league, or you just want to shout out your favorite driver, contact us at odyssey.motorsport@gmail.com or at odysseymotorsporttv.com. We can work with you on graphics, full ad pitches to promote your business or your social media on our broadcast. As we mentioned at the very beginning of the broadcast here, a reminder, there's safety car deployments here in this league, but there's a few circumstances that make that happen, and they are no safety car in the first and last 10 minutes. If there are 3 or more vehicles involved in the same incident, that results in a complete loss of control for 2 or more vehicles, a safety car will be deployed. And then if there are 2 or more vehicles involved in the same incident, that results in a complete loss of control for at least 1 vehicle and at least 1 black and orange flag, a meatball, that will also trigger a safety car. Els will have his ear to the ground while listening into the race comms to give us a heads up with any messages from race control. Last season, we talked about how awesome it is to have a league with live race control. Hats off to Dakota Knapp, Brett Marshall, Linda Barkley for putting on this league and running the live race control. It's just super, super awesome, and it has gone over incredibly well. Jumping on down to our next sponsor is tonight's broadcast is sponsored by DLB Precision. With every generation of PC components that come out, it's getting harder and harder to find the best performance gains for the best value. Does this CPU work with this motherboard? Is the GPU what I need, or is it overkill? Head on over to dlbprecision.com and they can sort all of that out for you. Every PC is hand-picked and assembled to the highest standard. They're started up, tuned, and stress tested before being delivered. people over at DLB Precision are sim racers themselves, so they run what they build, and they know the ways to tune your PC to run your sim title of choice with no stutters, no crashes, and bespoke to your needs. So if you're in the market for a new sim PC or an update to your current PC, check out dlbprecision.com. So, Els, let's talk about the circuit here tonight. As we mentioned, our personal experiences around here. Let's talk about just Sebring in general. So, we are back down in the south here at Sebring International Raceway. The big event here every year is the 12 Hours of Sebring. I myself have attended a few in person over a decade ago now, but it's a great track to be at as a spectator and quite the challenge as a driver. Great mix of long straights, a few slow corners, and some really high-speed sweepers, and the famous bumps going into the first and final corners. It's a 3.68-mile circuit with 17 corners, and we're going to see these drivers hopping around on the rough Sebring surface. Hopefully, it doesn't affect these cars too much. Turn 17 being the worst offender. I always have trouble keeping a consistent line through that corner. Els, as you talked about, people going 3-4 wide. So many different lines you can take through that corner with how wide it is. The bumps are going to be a big cause for the chaos going through that corner. You kind of already spoke about it, Els, but I know it's a great overtaking opportunity, but you think we'll see some incidents there at turn 17?
Yeah. I mean, let's be for real here. I mean, we got a bunch of cars on track. There's going to be incidents in every single race. We're expecting to see, a little bit of bumping, a little bit of grinding. It happens. But especially in turn 17, where you got the bumpy sunset bend, which is notorious for its bumps in iRacing and in real life, we're definitely going to have some trouble with that. And there's a lot of other areas of the track, such as the Lamars corner and turn 16. Those are very bumpy at some points too, with the high rise curves, I call them. But yeah, I mean, definitely I think there will be a few.
Yeah, and leading up to turn 17, as you see on the bottom portion of the track layout that you see on the screen, that's the Ullman Straight, so you get a really long run up to turn 17, so you get some drafting opportunities. With these cars having so much downforce, they push a lot of air out of the way, so if you're pretty close to the driver in front, you're going to get some drafting help going down these straights, and that's going to help, I would say, encourage some overtaking maneuvers into turn 17 as well. But let's talk about our schedule for the Kansas City Racing League Season 11 LMP3 Challenge. So we already did Road Atlanta, and Watkins Glen was last week. We are here at Sebring, Florida, and next week we'll be over at Long Beach. And then let's go ahead and talk about our point standings for tonight, where we're at with round 3. So the top 5 for each class. So you got 3 different classes: Pro, Pro-Am, and Am. Red is Pro, blue will be Pro-Am, and green will be the Am. So starting off in the Pro class, you got Chris Becco leading the way, Neil Salata in second place, Jake Van Hees in third place, Clayton Sanchez in fourth place, and Riley Mills in fifth place. In the Pro-Am class, you got Colton Wheaton leading the way, Mike Hamilton in second place, Nate Hallistick in third place, Mark Blizzard in fourth place, and Salvatore Castro in fifth place. And then in the Am class, you got Jeremy Stevens in first place, Christian La Rochelle in second place, Jeremiah Sodden in third place, Aaron Lester in fourth place, and Brian Froh in fifth place. So that is our current standings. But now we get to take a nice guided onboard lap around Sebring International Raceway. Els drove around in the LMP3 here this time. So he is in the Odyssey Motorsports LMP3. Els created this livery himself. Els on the Sim 888. So check him out on TikTok and Instagram, Els on the Sim 888, if you want to knock out the competition before the green flag drops. We're heading down the start-finish straight here, getting into turn 1. This is a bumpy corner. As you can see, the car, the onboard, bouncing around. Really easy to go wide there into the grass. This is technically turn 2, and then we have the turn 3, 4, and 5 complex right here. You see how tall those curbs are. You got to cut them, but you got to be careful. It can really upset the car. And now you're going to have a run down to the hairpin. Els, why don't you take it from here?
So we're in the Big Bend, they called it. Will be the 6th corner. I mean, this is a bumpy course. You're very right. Into the hairpin, turn number 7. You want to get a early apex, and then cut the dirt just a little bit on the throttle as soon as possible into the 8th corner. And then this little bit is the 9th corner right here. It's cute. Nice little cute corner. Into the 10th corner here, you're going to brake, I think, at the first cones, excuse me. And then into the 11th. And then now the 12th. And into the most difficult corner right now, the 13, which 13 is an unlucky number. Tower is what they call it. And then onto this back straight here into Bishop, corner number 14.
Yep, so going into turn 14, as you see on the onboard, this was taken from the KCRL session. This is turn 15. There are some damp spots here and there on the track, so this is a drying track. This is turn 16, heading on to that long almond straight, where you get those drafting opportunities to try to overtake, try to defend going into turn 17, which is coming up, which is Sunset Bend, the final corner. And you're going to see this LMP3 just bounce around as it goes into this corner. You see how wide it is, multiple different lines you can take through here to either overtake or defend. Look how much that car is bouncing around. You got to be steady on the throttle. And then we are across the line here at Sebring International Raceway for round 3 of season 11 of the Kansas City Racing League. Tonight's onboard guided lap is brought to you by Tow Racing. So Emil Tow is a sim racing content creator, and he is in our LMP3 challenge here tonight. Check out all the awesome content he makes on iRacing and ACC. So jump on over to Tow Racing Instagram and TikTok to see more of his content. That's TO_racing71 on Instagram and Tow Racing71 on TikTok. So Els, let's see where our drivers are right now, as it looks like we still got about 6 minutes remaining here in qualifying. Let's see what's going on with some of our drivers on track. Do you remember what time you got that you put down here at Sebring in the LMP3?
Oh, TJ calling me out, trying to figure out where I'm at on the board. I think I was in the mid to high 56s, so I would be up there with probably Colin Maxwell, Jeremy Stevens, probably in that area, and AM class.
All right.
I believe so.
All right, yeah, solid. Solid.
Mind you, I only did maybe 30 laps because the first time I tried it, it was raining, and then it wasn't raining, and then...
Fair enough. No, with the LMP3, I mean, I did the onboard lap at Watkins last week. Car I'm not super familiar with. Obviously, I drive the, if you've watched any of our broadcasts before, you know I'm a huge fan of the LMP2. Car is a little bit different, handles a little bit differently. It is similar, at least, but it takes a lot to really get the most out of this car. So a mid 56 is going to be solid up towards the top of the AM class, probably the middle of the Pro AM class. Right now in the Pro class, Drake Smith, our two-time Kansas City Racing League champion, season 9 and season 10, he's got pole position with a 154.5, so he is absolutely thrashing this car around. A good second and a half quicker than the Pro-Am leader Richard Sidursky right now with a 155.9. So it is really tough to get the most out of these car. Oh wow, really wide line there from Chris Becco as he comes through on his qualifying lap. See if he's able to improve, maybe take the fight to Drake Smith here. Oh, he does. He takes a half second out, but it's not going to be enough to get in the pole position. Still on the front row, Jake Van Hees in third, the pro class. Right now, Pro-Am, Richard Sidursky, Matt Stalkup, Michael Hamilton. See what's going on with Richard Sidursky here. Oh, Luke Patrick jumps up into the second row, third place in the pro class. And we're going to see these drivers finishing out their final qualifying laps here. And then we'll get ready to go racing. But yeah, real tough. I had a hard time getting the most out of the car, Els. I know these Kansas City Racing League drivers, especially those pro class drivers, will find all the little ways to get extra time here and there throughout the track, throughout the season. It'll get faster and faster and faster as we go. We got Paige Doffenbaugh in the pro class. Took the challenge of Drake Smith last season in the GT3s. Els, do you know any tricks around the LMP3? I think you got two on boards so far this season. I only got one. Any words of wisdom that you have?
being that the LMP3 is also new to me, I'm really realizing that you can push out at least 2 more seconds when you think you're going fast. That's my rule of thumb. If I'm going fast in my head, it's not fast enough. These guys are pushing out maybe, I don't know what they're doing. They're maybe flying it over the curbs. Let's take a look.
Yeah, on board with Paige Doffenbaugh. Keep it clear of some of the curbs, but ever so gently touching others. You can, so that is one of the upsides of some of the tall corners. If you want to get the car to rotate a little bit, if you just ever so gently clip it, you can help the car rotate, get around the corner better. But obviously that's a really thin line of high risk, high reward, or I would say high risk, low reward, since you're going to be racing for 45 minutes, but necessary to get that extra time out of, you add it up over, let's say 8 of these corners have the tall curbing. If you get a little bit, a tenth here, a tenth there, it's going to add up over the course of a lap, and then even more so over the course of a race. I don't have any words of wisdom as far as the LMP3, still kind of coming to grips with it myself, but these drivers, this being the third round, we're really going to start seeing them push the cars and some really close racing, as they are now starting to fully understand the cars, especially a circuit like Sebring, incredibly popular here on iRacing. Pretty much everyone I know likes it and or races there a lot, with the 12 Hours of Sebring being one of the iRacing special events. Huge participation in that. So we'll see what happens here tonight. Had a pretty messy week last week, but I think all the drivers are aligned. Can't win the race in the first lap, and I think we're going to have some great racing here with a track that everyone knows and loves so much, and you can really utilize the downforce that these cars create around here. So Paige going to jump up to 5th. Go ahead, Els.
TJ, I just came up with a tip. I think the tip would probably be hope and pray.
Well, it looks like we have, I'm going to guess here, 33 cars here tonight. We have 52 drivers registered, but life happens. I believe they get 1 or 2 drops throughout the season, so missing races here and there for pretty much every week. There'll be a couple people that aren't able to join, and it's different every week, but 33 drivers on track. That's a lot of cars in general, and then spread it over 3 different classes of driver. We're going to see all sorts of things happen, especially as the pro drivers. They're absolutely pushing these cars to the limit. They're going to catch up to the AM class, and then deal with traffic, and it's not going to be like regular multi-class traffic where there's a clear speed difference. It's just going to be it's the same car, only set up in drivers different. So we'll see what happens here tonight, as we got less than a minute remaining here in qualifying. Then we'll read off our starting grid, and we'll get ready for green flag racing here for round 3 at season 11.
Now, I can't believe these guys are in the 54s, man. These guys here at KCRL are really pushing the car. As you see the car on screen now just sliding around, I just imagine just trying to push this car, and I can only get a 56. Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, well, like I said, it is something that I think throughout the season we're going to see some wilder and wilder lap times, especially from the pro class guys that, like I said, they could just really, really wring everything out of the car. And especially, like I said, with a track like, as Jason Vondra goes a little wide there. Jason, one of the last ones on track as the qualifying session ends. And we are going to be taking over to the race here. Everyone really, really enjoys Sebring, so I'm expecting a heck of a race here tonight. But let's take a look at our grid and how things are going to be starting out tonight. So Drake Smith, 2-time champion, Kansas City Racing League, starting off on pole with 154.52, which is a crazy fast time. That is up there with the LMP2 cars, which is a class faster. So incredible lap from him. Chris Becco hot on his heels, though, only just about a 10.5 off in second place. Luke Patrick in third place. Riley Mills in fourth place. Paige Doffenbaugh in fifth place. Jake Van Hees in sixth place. Zach Lewis in seventh. Eighth is Clayton Sanchez. Ninth, Andrew Lanning. 10th, Kyle Shook. And 11th is Blaze Scheid. Moving on to the Pro-Am class, Richard Zatursky on pole with a 155.984. Second place, Matt Stallcup. Third place, Salvador Castro. Fourth place is Michael Hamilton. Fifth place, Colton Wheat. Sixth place, Kyle McDonald. Nate Hallistick is in seventh. Joe Harkness in eighth. Ash Harper in ninth. And then moving on to the AM class, Jeremy Stevens starting off on pole in the AM class with a 156, 635. Colin Maxwell in second place. Third place is going to be David Culpepper. Fourth place, Christian La Rochelle. Joshua Jordan's in fifth place. Sixth place, Aaron Lester. Benjamin Gallant in seventh place. Eighth place, Emil Toe. Brian Froh is in ninth place. 10th place, Jeremiah Sodden. Jason Vondres in 11th. Kelly McQueen in 12th. Brad Jorgensen in 13th. Jake Breedlove is in 14th. And that is going to be our grid for tonight. We got a full... got a full pace lap around here at Sebring. I'll bring up the track map, and once these cars start rolling, we will talk about what our expectations are tonight. I expect after last week's kind of demolition derby at Watkins, I think the driver's going to be a little more conservative here. I hope so, at least. With especially as you see here on the front straight, no runoff. So if there is any sort of crazy accident early on, it's going to block the way that. Further on in the circuit, there's a lot more runoff, so if somebody goes off, it's not going to just completely block the circuit here. Els, what's your expectations for the KCRL guys here on round 3?
TJ, I expect the best from KCRL 100% of the time, but this is the 0.999999999% where I think something may happen, but not necessarily chaos, but something will happen. That's my opinion.
All right, fair enough. Well, as we do the parade lap here, let's talk about our other sponsor. Tonight's parade lap is brought to you by JD Racing on Instagram and TikTok. Jeffrey Davis is a 4K I-rated sports car driver and makes content all about his journey to 4K on iRacing. Be sure to check out all his moves, both offensive and defensive, by checking out JD.Racing on Instagram and TikTok. As our drivers head down Big Ben towards the hairpin for the first time, it's turn 7. Look at that field of cars. It is packed to the rafters again. KCRL just grown so much. You see the drivers going back and forth here, trying to heat up the tires so they have the best advantage heading into turn 1 on lap 1 once the green flag goes. These cars, no ABS around these cars, on these cars. So you got to be steady on the brakes. It does have traction control, but I don't know about you, Elsa. I never really had any problems with losing the rear end under throttle unless I hit a curb and kind of, totally overcooked it. It was more under braking that I kind of lost it than anything else.
Yeah, TJ. Under braking, if it's too far to the rear, just like any other car without ABS, it's going to spin, lock up the rears, and automatically front end is just going to make the back end go around. So yeah, I mean, you got to be careful on the brakes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what happens there is as you are downshifting, the engine's actually putting some loading on the rear axle. If you add too much brake and the brake is biased too far to the rear, it actually locks up the rears. And as you can imagine with, drifting cars and stuff like that, they pull the handbrake to get the car sideways, and that's what may happen. You might see a couple drivers see the car kind of snap heading into a corner completely sideways. That would be a rear lockup that happens if you have the brake bias too far back, you're too hard on the brakes, and you're downshifting too hard all at the same time. So a lot of things to consider for these drivers, and then add in the fact that there's 33 of them on track. 34 now. So someone joined a little late, but 34 drivers on track. Everyone's going to be fighting over the same piece of tarmac as we head down the Almond Straight for the final time here under the safety car, and then we'll be getting ready to go for green flag racing. Els, as a native of Florida, I definitely recommend at some point checking out the 12 Hours of Sebring. It's a super awesome. Every time I've been, it's been an awesome time. It's really, really crazy to see all the cars that we love to drive and race here on iRacing in person at a track that you know so well, as someone who's driven here in many different disciplines. So I highly recommend it. Our pace car is about to dive in, and Drake Smith is going to lead the field towards the green flag here. There goes the pace car, and round 3 of season 11 is underway here as green flag comes out. Drake Smith getting a good start. Chris Becco dives right in behind him, and we got a couple 2-3 wides heading into turn 1. How clean is it going to be? Paige Offenbach on the outside in 5th place, trying to get ahead here. We're still side-by-side racing further back. Zach Lewis trying to weave his way through a minefield of cars here on the outside going into turn 4. Everyone keeping it very clean. Very, very good racing from these drivers. You see a super crowded track. I see we got a Breedlove, a couple cars going off track in turn 1. It's really easy to go wide there. Heading into the hairpin for the first time, turn 7, as it looked like Riley Mills took a look up the inside on Luke Patrick, but dove back inside. And we got a crash further back. Matt Saltcup side by side. Richard Sidursky for first in the Pro-Am class here. Oh, excuse me, that is Andrew Lanning in the pro class ahead of him there. So we got multiple incidents that happened further back, but for the most part, everyone keeping it relatively clean with the sheer number of cars on track and how many how much side-by-side racing we're seeing here.
Now, TJ, I'll go ahead and say it. I was wrong.
Well, there's still 43 and a half minutes of racing to go, so let's not curse anyone yet. That was Paige Offenbach goes sideways coming out of turn 16. Not sure if they just locked up or took too much curb, but seems to have gotten out of there without any real issue. So drivers are heading down the almost straight into turn 17, and we are finishing up lap 1 with Drake Smith, Chris Becco within a half second of him. Lap 1's done. Major incident behind. That's Luke Patrick sideways in turn 17. So we will take a look at all of these incidents that are happening here. But we're going to jump up to Jeremy Stevens, who's first place in the Pro-Am class, in the Am class, making his way through the back of the Pro-Am class. You see a car go wide there in turn 1. It is really, really weird to go from that start-finish straight turn 1 onto the more narrow portion of the circuit that's asphalt instead of the cement. Els, you have any problems at turn 1 here?
Oh, turn 1 is deceiving.
Yeah.
It's like you got to get it right. You got to get it right, and if you don't, you're either off wide or you're into the wall on the inside. It's deceiving.
Yeah, on board with Jake Van. He's 5th place in the pro class. He was taking a look up the inside on Zach Lewis in the pro class. So we'll see if he makes a move here going into turn 9. Does not. Less than a half second between the two of them right now. Really, really close to Zach Lewis there. All right, so now that everyone has, for the most part, gotten back to single file, we're going to take a look at some of these lap 1 incidents and see what happened here. So we're going to go up to... we're going to start with Jake Breedlove. I believe this was turn 17 or turn 1. So let's take a look at what happened here with Jake Breedlove. All right, no, this is turn 2. Oh, locked up. Caused a little bit of... Oh, goodness. All right, so that was Jake Breedlove trying to get by. Looks like we had a whole bunch of people having some offs there. Colin Maxwell coming down to the hairpin on lap 1. Oh. Pretty awesome livery, but manages to not have any major incidents here.
What a livery.
Yeah. So we got Michael Hamilton and Kristen LaRoche here duking it out. Michael Hamilton in the Pro-Am class. In the Am class catching up behind them. We're going to jump up to Drake Smith and Chris Becco, who are still nose to tail here. So Drake Smith getting the challenge. Chris Becco currently leading the point standings in the pro class, so taking the challenge to the two-time champ here. is Chris Becco.
TJ, race comms, Leon Hitches, incident responsibility, getting a black flag. Not sure what the penalty is, but I am getting comms.
All right. Thank you, Els. We appreciate you keeping your ear to the ground for the race comms as usual. Live race control here with the Kansas City Racing League. Dakota Knapp, the league runner and creator, founder, owner, operator, overall gangster, always watching out for different incidents to keep the drivers honest. So I have a Luke Patrick had an off here, so let's see what happened with Luke Patrick going into turn 17 here. I think this is what we saw in the background. Yep. Those bumps. You got to be super careful with the bumps around turn 17. As that is one of the few places that you see how these cars are just bouncing around here. Look at this. Oh, Brad Jorgensen just said comms being sent. Let me know if they aren't going through. Brad, we got them. L's got them, so we're good to go. Thank you for checking in. That's Brad Salty Beard in the chat. Let's see if there's any more incidents. We got a couple people going off track. So Chris Becco actually went off track. So as he is right behind Drake Smith here, we'll see what happened. Maybe just dipped a tire. Yep, that's more than a tire. Really didn't lose all that much time there. So heck of recovery there from him.
That's how you go off track and come back.
Yeah. So Richard Sidursky leading the way in the Pro-Am class, but he's got Salvador Castro right on his tail as they head down into the hairpin here. So you can see the two, the blue mirrors and rear wings, and what's that? The windshield banner. They're denoting that Pro-Am class. Heading into turn 10. See how tall those curbs are. They're heading into Tower, which is it's just a really challenging corner to get right consistently there. As you see all the grass dead on the outside as cars have gone off, and just that Florida sand kind of peeking through there. So this is the battle for the lead in the Pro-Am class. Right now we got to point out Jeremy Stevens leading the way in the Am class. Christian La Rochelle in second place. Joshua Jordan in third place. Right now we're watching Richard Sidursky, Salvador Castro first and second. Colton Wheaton in third place in the Pro-Am class. Right now Drake Smith, Chris Becco, and Riley Mills, your top three in the Pro class, as we're coming up on 8 minutes. Lap 5 is finishing up. Just going to take a peek at our leaders right now, and I think Drake and Chris are just going to be playing some 4D chess here. With Chris maybe being happy to stay behind Drake and maybe gain a little bit of fuel advantage with the draft here, and maybe push his pit stop out an extra lap or so.
Now, TJ, quick question.
Oh,
For a track like
good.
For a track like this, what kind of setup do you want on the LMP3?
Well, so as someone who isn't, oh man, Chris Becco right on the back of Drake Smith here. Someone who's not super well versed in the LMP3, I would imagine you want something that can take the bumps. I would say it's the ultimate compromise track. So usually, if it's a track that has not a lot of straights, you want high downforce so you can get the most advantage out of the car going through the corners. But here you got high speed corners, you got low speed corners, you got long straights, and then you got the bumps. So I wish I could tell you, Els, I don't actually know what the best setup would be here for this. Some drivers prefer it to be pointy, some drivers prefer it to be a little more understeery. So we'll see. Maybe we'll ask some of our winners here tonight how they had the car set up, and we can get some insight into that, because I couldn't tell you. We're going to take a look back at Clayton Sanchez real quick as he is right on the back of Andrew Lanning, taking a look up the inside into turn 17. And there's the switchback that you talked about there. Andrew's able to get back ahead. Yeah, side by side down the front straight into turn 1. Clayton on the inside for turn 1. Ooh! Getting the squeeze there from Andrew. Still side by side, these two. Great racing for both of them so far.
Around the outside. Gonna try and make it.
Still not quite. Oh, he closed the door a little too soon. Oh, man. And that was Andrew Lanning that got sideways, and there was a couple bystanders there that got caught up in collateral damage. Very unfortunate. See if Andrew's back up and running. He is. So Andrews now has a meatball, and so does Blaze Shine. We'll see what happened. Richard Sidursky, who was leading the Pro-Am class, as we see Andrew Lanning going wide after that damage from that spin. Let's see what happened with Richard Sidursky really quick. He was leading the Pro-Am class. Oh, he was right behind these, so he was one of that was caught up in that. Oh, that is unfortunate for him. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I hate to say that is racing sometimes. You're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. As I always say, it's better to be lucky than good, but at this level, you kind of need to be both.
And I'm getting some race comms. Incident responsibility for Clayton. No overlock causing the spin.
Yep. Oh, God. I'm sorry. You seeing this, Els? This is all top 3 of the Pro-Am class here, fighting down the Almond Straight. Oh, there's a little bit of paint bumping going. What's going to happen here? Oh, goodness.
Oh.
Major contact going into turn 17 for Salvatore Castro. I think that was, who else was that went with him there?
TJ?
Yes, sir.
I'll say it first. I was right.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's much better than kind of the pileup that we saw last week at, as you see the black flag come out for Clayton Sanchez. The pileup we saw last week at Watkins Glen. So at least they're able to go wide, go off the racing line, and it's not quite as bad. But, I mean, made it good 7-8 laps in, whereas we didn't even make it through 2 corners on the last race. So the drivers actually being much more well-behaved, and, you know, this is kind of the type of racing we come to expect here from Kansas City Racing League. Is Colton Wheaton in 4th place at Salvador Castro. That was Salvador Castro in 3rd place. It was Colton Wheaton that's behind him, trying to make their way up into the top 3. Well, yeah, this is great racing here. A little bit of paint trading here and there. In my opinion, that's just good racing. It's going to happen with this many drivers on track and them all fighting for the same bit of tarmac. You're going to expect it, but it's going to be tough. I mean, you're going down the Almond Straight. All 3 of you are fighting for the lead, and you're going 3 wide. As you know, Els, the A-pillars on these are massive. So if you go into the roll bar here, the interior cam, you can see the A-pillars are just massive, so it blocks a ton of your view. And then you might have drivers that are on a single monitor that don't have the triple monitors. They're able to see out of the passenger and driver side window to know exactly where those other cars are at, especially if you're in the middle on that. That is tough.
Now, TJ, getting more race comms, we got Salvador Castro getting a black flag as well from race control.
Alrighty then, yeah, Salvador serving his, we just saw him dive into the pits here. What a move there. Michael Hamilton on the outside. That is Paige Doffenbaugh on the inside. Wait, what happened there? Okay. I think SDK is having a hard time there. I thought that was Paige, but it is not. So is Nate Halstick there as these this group of 5 cars here are really tight together, side by side, heading down towards the hairpin. Hopefully this doesn't end in tears. Oh, still side by side through the hairpin. That is an awesome bit of driving there from these drivers here. It was Colton Wheat and Nate Halstick now side by side. Heading up to turn 10. So Colton was on the outside, Nate on the inside. He takes the position. Nate up into 4th. And that is Michael Hamilton up ahead of them in the podium for the Pro-Am class. Just keeping an eye out as we are about a third of the way through this, just past 15 minutes in this 45-minute session. Great racing so far, I think, Els. Drake Smith and Chris Becco still within a half a second of one another up in the Pro class. So Chris keeping Drake honest here. We're going to try to jump down to the AM class here, but with so many pros here, okay, I think they're spaced out enough. We're going to jump actually down to Jeremy Stevens. So Jeremy Stevens leading the AM class right now, has a pretty large gap, over 11 seconds. But then it is Kristen LaRochelle here in second place with Joshua Jordan hot on his tail in the AM class. So we'll see what happens right here, and then we're going to jump up to Zach Lewis and Riley Mills real quick as they are duking it out for the final podium position in the Pro class. Zach Lewis keeping it within a half second of Riley Mills. Right on the rear. Takes a look up the inside. Not able to quite get it done there as he took a little bit too much curbing there. Upset the car. So I'd say we're about 10-ish minutes away from the pit stop window opening up, where we're going to start seeing our drivers dive in. Like I said, there is not supposed to be tire changes, but I'm not sure if tire changes in case it rained. I think there was a 10% chance of rain. I think Drake might have put tire changes back on. I think Zach Lewis got a course cut there as he dropped back a good second or so. So we're going to just take a glance at Chris Becco and Drake Smith here as they're starting to go through the traffic here. It's Jake Breedlove in the AM class that they just got by. He jumped out of the way, so no issue there. I tell you what, Drake has been just absolutely pushed by this Chris Becco, so this is going to be some awesome stuff as we get into the later stages of the race here.
Now, you said earlier, TJ, that Chris Becco might just be fuel saving. Oh, as we see a car off in the back there.
Yeah, that was Drake Breedlove going wide in the hairpin. Go ahead, Els.
Making a strategy call to just, get away from third place, stick with the leader, not fight too much. We'll fight it out later, and possibly I might get you in the pits. It's a good idea, I think.
Yeah, no, solid. Drake, obviously being a two-time champion, currently leading the race, started on pole. You gotta pull out all the stops to get by him and stay by him. So the pit undercut, overcut is definitely a strategy that could work in Chris's favor here. As these guys, I mean, they're in the 54s. They're the only two in the 54s, by the way, and they're well into the 54s. 54.69 for Drake and a 54.63 for Chris Becco. So these two, I would say, relatively evenly matched. And like I said, after, say another 5 laps or so, Chris might have been able to, utilizing the draft of Drake, might have been able to eke out an extra lap of fuel. So we'll see what happens with that. So he's really, really close going into turn 1 here. Takes a look up the inside, but does not make the move. just fill in the mirrors. We're going to jump back to Joshua Jordan here. Currently third place in the AM class. That's Christian La Rochelle ahead of him, second place in the AM class. So this is the battle for second. Oh, that's Luke Patrick behind him in the pro class. Really, really tight. See, Kyle Shook actually dove into the pit lane. So yeah, going just past 20 minutes here. So just before the halfway mark. Your top three for each class: Drake Smith, Chris Becko, Zach Lewis for your pro class, AM class Matt Stallcup, Richard Sidursky, and Michael Hamilton, and then Jeremy Stephens, Christian La Rochelle, and we're watching Christian and Joshua Jordan here, second and third in the AM class, battling it out here at Sebring as Luke Patrick takes a look up the inside on Joshua Jordan. Gets by. That is not for position. So now Luke Patrick in between the second and third place drivers in the AM class. Salvador Castro and Ash Harper finishing their pit stop. Jumping back up to Chris Becko. I saw that got under a tenth of a second. So going down the Almond Straight, Chris definitely utilizes. We're going to take a look up the inside here. Going down the start-finish straight. This is for the lead here. What's going to happen going into turn one? So Drake's on the inside. He's defensive. And he's able to get back up ahead, and Chris falls behind. So the mind game's beginning already as we're closing in on the halfway point here, Els.
Absolutely, TJ. These guys are really putting in a good fight. We might see it all the way to the end.
Yeah, we'll see what happens during the pit window. See if one of them, they both go in together. If they, one goes in first and the other one goes in second, we'll see. Keep an eye out for that. Nate Hallistick getting by Colton Wheaton in the Pro-Am class. Going into turn one here. That was Christian La Rochelle. That was in the AM class I was going by, so not for class position.
Now I'm getting comms from Dakota Knapp, the chief steward, that the drivers can get their post-race interviews because they are much better well-behaved. So shout out to the drivers. And once again, shout out to Dakota Knapp. He put the hammer down. He said, we need to see some good racing. This is not going to continue. And look at the response. Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. This has been great racing here around Sebring.
I would say a track that just lends itself really well to big fields, as you know, the 12 Hours of Sebring has 50 some entries in multiple classes. Just a ton of space, well-known track. Drivers really putting on a show. Great driving from everyone tonight. And like I said, a little bit of paint trading, okay in my book. It's going to happen in racing, and I think we've seen that tonight. This is the Kansas City Racing League that I think our viewers tuned in to take a watch at. Blaze Scheid had an off, and he's got a meatball flag, so he jumped to the pit lane. Unfortunate for Blaze, he jumped up from the Pro-Am class to the Pro class this week. So shout out to him for taking on the challenge. Unfortunate that he is in the pit getting repairs. So jumping back to Clayton Sanchez here. It's the battle for 7th in the Pro class. So Clayton in 8th. Luke Patrick just ahead of him in 7th.
Ooh. A little squirrely right there. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did. Managed to keep it out of the wall, though, and that's all that really matters. Heading into turn one. Let me see. Joshua Jordan, 3rd place in the AM class, right behind Clayton here as they're heading through the turn 4, 5, 6 complex onto Big Bend, which is 6, heading into the hairpin now, getting up to high speed and then hard on the brakes down, real slow, so that gap's going to close down. You see the kind of accordion effect that happens. Taking some curbing. And then Matt Stallcup leading the way in the Pro-Am class right now. As we saw, Richard Sidursky was caught up in that incident in turn 3 and 4. Matt Stallcup leading the way. It's about 8.5 seconds ahead of Richard Sidursky. Richard Sidursky still in second place, even though he had that contact. So heck of a recovery drive from him after having that. Oh, goodness. Chris Becco takes the lead going into turn 1 here. And we're at 25 minutes in, only 20 minutes remaining, so these two are going to have to hit the pit lane soon here, but Chris pounces. That was going into turn 1. We're actually going to, once they get on to past the hairpin here, we will take a look at how exactly he did it. I saw the scoring tower switch, but was a little late on it, as Chris had been right behind Drake for a long time. All right, so this is how it happened in going into turn 1. So he got a good run out of 17 down the front straight and just made the pass, made it look easy for now. But with Drake Smith in your rear view, nothing's going to be easy.
Now, TJ, I wonder if Drake Smith is going to go into the pits beforehand and try to get the undercut now that he's in second place. Maybe he could pull it off, being that the front straight is very fast and the pit entry is at the end of the front straight.
Well, the pit
exit.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we'll see what happens as and not a ton of traffic up ahead of them. So so generally speaking, if there is a ton of traffic and you dive into the pits and your guy that you're fighting against stays out, when you come out of the pits, hopefully not in traffic, you're able to just go a lot faster where they're kind of caught up in traffic, and they can you can take advantage of that. But I don't think that's going to happen here. I think they're actually going to come out in a little bit of traffic here. As there goes, Drake Smith jiving into the pit lane here. So we'll see what happens with these two. We're going to take a look at Kyle Shook, currently in 9th place, coming up behind Clayton Sanchez here. That's Kyle Shook for Odyssey Motorsport. So we will keep an eye out on Chris Becco when he dives into the pit and see when he comes out where that he is in relation to Drake Smith. Also, you could overshoot your I don't expect this from Chris or Drake, but you can overshoot your pit stall. You can stop too short, and every 1/10 of a second counts on track, just like it does in the pit lane. So we'll see what happens with that. Matt Stallcup, Richard Sidursky taking their pit stops, leading the Pro-Am class. So that's Matt Stallcup leading Richard Sidursky in second. Christian La Rochelle and David Culpepper also taking their pit stops for now. But Chris Becco on the second half of the circuit, not quite back around. As you can see, the flurry of activity on the scoring tower, pit entry, pit exit, people getting past, and then they're going to get passed back as they take their pit stop. So give it about 2 or 3 laps, and then everyone will be back where I think they should be, and all the pit stop drama will be shaken out. We'll see where everyone places. Jump up to Zach Lewis, who's right on the back of Riley Mills here. Battle for 4th in the pro class. Heading through the hairpin. Well, you can't say this is a boring race, Els. It has been absolutely action-packed.
I have to agree with you, TJ. These guys know how to race. It just took a little bit of a talking to say, hey, let's behave. Let's race like how we know how to race. Let's have good fun. It's about having fun and competing at the highest levels and enjoying the race with your peers. So definitely love to see it.
Yep, so I'm about to jump up to Drake Smith as he's coming around turn 17. We're going to see where he is in relation to Chris Becco. Should be coming out of the pits now. So here comes Drake. Chris is out of the pits. There he is up there. So I think Chris got a bit of a better. Oh, as I see, I think that was Luke Patrick and Emil Toe in the background there at turn 17. That was Emil Toe having a crash. Looks like Chris had the better pit stop. So Drake Smith now almost 4 seconds behind. So I don't know if he had an issue in the pit or what, but Chris Becco taking the lead in the pro class. Let's see what happened with Emil Toe as he was coming around turn 17. Oh, you see him struggling there. Yep, the bouncing of the bumps there, especially on the inside, is able to keep it out of the wall. So solid save from him. At turn 17, notorious for the bumps. You got to kind of, I wouldn't say feather the throttle, but you got to be careful as you go over the bumps. If you have your foot planted, you can lose traction and go around. Zach Lewis right on the back of Riley Mills. This is for the final podium position in the pro class. Here we're at 30, almost 31 minutes in, so just under 15 minutes remaining.
Now, TJ, I want to take a second to shout out Emil Toe, one of our Odyssey Motorsport drivers, coming out, having fun out here, showing the colors in his custom livery. Want to give him a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it up, man.
Yep, keep it up. It takes a little while to learn the LMP3, so just keep at it, Emil. Like I said, better drivers have been bitten by the bumps at turn 17, both in real life and on the sim. But just I'm going to keep on here with Zach Lewis and Riley Mills, but I have Emil's off teed up of the onboard. I want everyone to see how bumpy that circuit is around turn 17. Once we see you see there, Zach going a little wide. Yeah, so this is on board with Emil heading into turn 17. You're just going to watch this car bounce all sorts of around. Yep, right there. That's all it was.
Now, TJ, I'm getting comms also that full course yellow will be disabled in about 3 minutes.
All right. So that's part of that first and last 10 minutes of no yellow flags as Zach Lewis getting side by side with Riley Mills. I think he's got the drive heading into turn 7. Zach covers him off, going defensive on the inside. Riley goes to the outside. As he get a better drive out of the hairpin? He does, and he takes the position back. So solid racing here for these two for the final podium position in the pro class.
That's what they call the old switcheroo.
Yep. And that's why you saw Riley Mills dive back to the outside so he could get a better exit out of the hairpin as Zach was going up the inside. Isn't going to get as great of an exit because his entrance into that corner is much shallower than Riley's was. And that's how the switcheroo happens.
Good old switcheroo.
Took a look up the inside, but was not able to get alongside. And these two duking it out for that final podium position here in the pro class as we're coming down into the final third of round 3 here at Sebring. Heading down the Elmer Straight, is Zach going to take a look up the inside into 17? He does. Riley goes wide. Still side by side on exit. Oh, Riley's going to go around.
Oh, no.
I was able to keep it out of the wall, but like we said so many different times, a bunch of different lines you can take through there, and there's different bumps on the different lines. So Riley got bit by turn 17. Another victim, unfortunately for him. So now Jake Van Hees is able to, with Zach and Riley battling, not getting the quickest lap times, Jake Van Hees able to reel them, and now he's going to try to battle his way into the podium for the pro class. Heading through the hairpin here. Zach, Riley, and Jake, all top-notch drivers. But just to put it into perspective, Drake Smith, Chris Becco. Drake Smith is 22.5 seconds up the road from these two. So just to put it into perspective of kind of the level that Chris and Drake are at, they're just the heavy hitters in the league for sure.
TJ, I believe the correct term is extraterrestrial.
Yeah, if you're a family member or a friend of one of the drivers watching, you're not fully immersed in the sim culture. We call those people aliens because they're just not human on how fast they are. So that's what Els is getting at there. I would have to agree, Chris and Drake putting absolutely inhuman times here around Sebring. Like I said, just absolutely top notch. Both drivers above 4K in the I rating, so they are used to being fast, and they are fast often. We're going to jump back to Benjamin Gallant, who's fifth in the AM class right now, trying to get up on Joshua Jordan, who's fourth, just ahead of him here, as we're down in the final 10 minutes. 9 minutes remaining here at Sebring for round 3. Been an action-packed race so far. We had the 3D chess where the pit strategy came into play for our pro leaders. We had some paint rubbing. We've had turn 17 bite a number of drivers going around, as I see Kyle Shook, who was fighting for... oh, no, that was Jake Van Hees that was fighting for third. Kyle Shook having an off in turn 17 as well. Let's take a look at that real fast. So the bumps at turn 17, catching another driver out here. It's that inside bump right there. Yeah, right on the apex. It is violent.
That is literally what happened to our other Odyssey Motorsport driver.
Yep. So jump back to Jake Van Hees within under a half second now to Zach Lewis here. And you got to start thinking how the tires are going to be affected here as we're coming into the closing minutes. These drivers have been pushing it for 37 minutes now. The tires are probably screaming for mercy here. So, who was more gentle on the tires in the earlier stages might have the grip to take the fight to the other driver here, or the defense in that case.
Now, I don't know if I read that correctly, TJ, but I think Chris Becco put in a 54 flat.
I'm trying to look at the best. No, actually, he did not put in a 54 flat. He put in a 53.79. That's the fastest lap. He put in a 53.7. His last lap was a 55 flat.
Oh, as we got a little bump in on the screen.
Oh, man, Jake goes wise.
It looks like Zach Lewis is going to redress and allow him to go past. So that's what it looked like.
All right, I was actually looking at the timing screen as that happened, so we can jump back to that if you'd like. Zach Lewis closing back in on Jake. So I'm sorry, I wasn't watching what exactly happened.
It looked like Zach Lewis may have tapped Jake Van Hees just a little bit, causing him to go off, and then he allowed him back on the track. I think slowing down Brian Froh a little bit, but
yeah, let's take a look at that again. So this going into turn 1. That's Zach on the inside. You got a car coming out of the pit lane on the outside. So that was the overtake. Yep, I think he just tapped him a little bit. And then Zach, being the gentleman driver that he is, gave him the position back. So solid sportsmanship from him. Zach Lewis still within a second, so this is not over yet as we're coming into the closing 5 minutes of the race here.
I love to see sportsmanship in racing.
Yeah, no, it's the gentlemanly way to do it for sure. As these two right now, Jake Van Hees up in third position in the pro class. Zach Lewis in 4th. We're going to jump down to Colton Wheat, who is currently in 5th place. He's got Nate Hallistick just ahead of him. See if he makes a move down into turn 17. Nate Hallistick, the fearless leader of the Savage Sim Racing crew. Probably have about 9 drivers in this series in all 3 different classes. So Savage Sim Racing showing out. Nate Hallistick is their head honcho there. Colton Wheat trying to get by him. Not able to as they go through turn 1. Got pretty close going down the front straight though. I think last season, I think it was Nate last season. I think it was Nate and Casper Kaluta, also a Savage Sim Racing driver. I think they did like 8 laps within like a 1/10 of a second of each other. I remember watching that and I was like, oh man, that's some pretty great driving from those two. So Savage Sim Racing, known for their good racecraft here in the Kansas City Racing League.
Absolutely, TJ. 8 laps within a 1/10 is definitely what you call consistency.
Yeah. And trust. I mean, just to think how much you got to trust the driver you're up against to be able to do that. We're going to jump back to Benjamin Gallant now. He is in 5th place, and he's fighting Joshua Jordan here for 4th place in the AM class. So same situation, but just the class, different class here. Heading into turn 13, the tower corner. Or excuse me, that was turn 10.
I thought it was 13.
Oh, that was 13. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, 10 and 13 do kind of look similar. We're on the front bumper, so I thought it was 10. But yeah, heading into 16 here, you'll see them take the inside curbing. Actually, went a little wide there. Is Benjamin Gallant? He's going to lose out. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. He's got Joe Harkness on the inside of him here. Or, excuse me, Salvador Castro on the inside of him there, and that's why he went a little wide.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, goodness.
Oh.
That was Dave Culpepper there, who is getting right. So I have that teed up real quick. We'll see what happened with Dave Culpepper. Turn 17 claims another victim here. Yeah, he just went in way too fast. And the back end came out, like I said, with the... I mean, yeah, he was pretty far off the racing line there, but that's tough to... it's tough to see as you're coming around that turn 17 and your eyeballs are bouncing in your head.
Great way to put it.
Well, it's what happens to the real drivers. I can't imagine how that is in real life, going around that corner at that speed. It's got to be nuts. Coming up on 43 minutes, so final 2 minutes with just under a 2-minute lap time. We are going to jump back to Colton Wheat here. We're just going to see where Chris Becco is. So I think we got one more lap after this, and then this lap coming up will be the white flag. But we're going to jump back to Colton Wheat as he is fighting Nate Hallistick here for the Pro-Am 4th place position. Heading through turn 16 onto the Ullman Straight. Let's see if Colton can mount an offensive here and take a look up the inside. Maybe. Into turn 17 is not quite getting the dry. He does take a look, but he's too far back to make anything happen. So yeah, the inside right there, there's a huge bump right on the apex. Oh goodness, we see Kelly McQueen go sideways there in turn 17. 17 claims another victim. I mean, it is, I think as these tires are wearing, the grip through turn 17, the bouncing of the bumps, it's just catching some of these drivers out. We're going to take a look. Chris Becco here coming around. I think there should be one more lap. He's got 30 seconds to make it across the line here. We're going to stay with him real quick, and then we will jump back to Colton Wheat to see what happens with him and Nate Hallistick in the Pro-Am class here, just to make sure that this isn't the end of the race. Should be the white flag. Yep, that's white flag.
Wide. You could see how wide he takes that last corner. He's just going through it.
Oh, Nate Hallistick going defensive on the inside. They're going through turn 10. Oh, a little bit of contact, and Nate's going to go sideways. And I think he's going to... Yep, he's letting him go by, so solid from Colton to let the position get taken back, and the battle's back on. So they're heading up to turn 16, 15 and 16 for the final time. Through the Le Mans, onto the Ullman Straight. I think Colton might be too far back to make anything happen, but let's take a look and see what happens here. Oh, I didn't want gearbox, I wanted nose. Yeah, I think he's too far back. So these guys have not taken the white flag yet, so they still got to go around one more time. Chris Becco coming around Tower Corner. So that's a white flag for them. So here we go. Let's see what happens. I think the best opportunity for Colton's going to be going into the hairpin at turn 7 if he can get a good exit here out of 5. And he does. Here we go. Els on the final lap here going into the hairpin. What's going to happen? Nate going to take defensive. He is. Not quite able to get alongside him, but still quite a bit of track to go. It's barely halfway through the lap. It's Chris Becco is going to cross the line as the pro winner. Drake Smith in second. We're going to stay with these two as they're duking it out. Actually, you know what? We're going to jump to Benjamin Gallant because we got a podium on the line here between him and David Culpepper. They're a little bit farther back. We'll keep an eye on the gap between Colton and Nate here. So right now, David Culpepper in third place. Benjamin Gallant in fourth in the AM class here. Now, I'm actually seeing... Looks like David Culpepper has the blue indication, but I have him, at least on the sign-up, I have him as in the AM class. So maybe he just didn't change that. So with that being said, we're going to jump... I was going to say we're going to jump back. Yeah, you got a little bit of extra curbing there. And jump back up to Colt Wheat as they're going through, oh man, the final corner there. Nate Hallistick's going to stay ahead and take fourth position in the Pro-Am. Solid battle from them. We saw the contact, the overtake, and the allowing them to go back here. See Joe Harkness still finishing up his lap. As they're coming around for the final time. That was Joshua Jordan, Joe Harkness finishing up. Trying to see who else is on the circuit here. Kyle Shook having a little bit of fun. It should be everyone. Yep, that is going to be everyone. So that is going to end round 3 here at Sebring. A heck of a race.
Great race.
Yeah, great race. So let's go ahead and take a look at our... we're going to start with the pro class. So Chris Becco takes the win. He's leading the championship right now and is going to extend that for Purple Rain Motorsports with the win. Drake Smith coming in second place. Zach Lewis in third place. Jake Van Hees in fourth place. Riley Mills in fifth place. Paige Doffenbaugh in sixth place. Luke Patrick seventh. Clayton Sanchez in eighth. Ninth is Kyle Shook. Blaze Scheid is 10th. And Andrew Lanning is 11th. Then moving on to the Pro-Am class. We got Matt Stolkup taking his win in the Pro-Am class. Richard Sidursky coming in second. Michael Hamilton in third. Nate Hallistick was able to hold off a charging Colton Wheat there for fourth place and fifth place. Kyle McDonald sixth. Salvatore Castro in seventh. Joe Harkness in eighth. Ash Harper in ninth. And then moving to the AM class, we have Jeremy Stevens taking the win here at Sebring. Christian La Rochelle in second place. David Culpepper in third place. Benjamin Gallant in fourth place. Joshua Jordan, fifth place. Aaron Lester, sixth place. Seventh is Jeremiah Sodden. Eighth is Colin Maxwell. Brian Froh is ninth. Emil Toe in 10th. Kelly McQueen, 11th. Jake Breedlove, 12th. 13th is Leon Hitchens. 14th, Jason Vollinger. Brad Jorgensen is part of that race control, but he does like to drive with the guys into practice ahead of time. So that's going to be our round 3 finishing order here, and we got a number of drivers here in oh my gosh, there's like 8 of them here in the waiting room here. So let's get everything kind of set up here. We'll jump back a session, and then we'll go to the starting lap here, and then we'll put everything on slow motion, and then we're going to start with Chris Becco, our race winner in the pro class, and we will just work our way through. Chris, congratulations on your win here at Sebring. A heck of a race between you and Drake. You guys within a half a second of each other for pretty much the entire half of the race until the pit stop. How was it for you out there?
Pretty cool. Drake was obviously pretty fast. He was a great fuel save target. I think he saw what I did probably about halfway through the race. I started to see him fuel save a bit more, but I think by the time he saw, I think it was a bit too late. So the plan worked out, it seems.
Yeah, I had commented with Els, with you staying so close to him, these cars, if you're able to utilize that draft, you can kind of, eke out an extra lap of fuel, and that seems to be what you did. Worked out great for you. You guys had some great side-by-side racing there a couple different times. Absolutely awesome. Any particular corners here in the LMP3 that were difficult, or was it pretty easy for you? It looked pretty easy.
The car is a lot of fun here, especially once I get warmed up. But especially those first couple laps, actually, my teammate Luke, you'll notice, spun, lap 1 in Sunset. And I almost had the same thing happen. It was pretty loose back there. Sunset on cold tires. And just like, as you saw towards the end of the stint, the LMP3 tires get faster, but they do get more worn. So it's kind of a weird dichotomy where you're trying to go faster, but at the same time, the car is more deadly at the same time. So you're really trying to push yourself into probably a little too much.
Yeah, we saw a turn 17 claimed a number of victims, especially towards the end of the race there. But huge congrats on your win in the pro class, leading the championship in the pro class, heading up to round 4 at Long Beach. We hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any shout outs that you'd like to give tonight?
Just shout out to my team, Purple Rain Motorsports, and thank you guys for broadcasting, and thanks to Dakota for race control. I'm assuming he's going to have a little say about my start, but we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks again. Congratulations on your win, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
All right. That was Chris Becco. I did not see what happened on the start there. I actually thought Drake got away pretty well in the start, so we'll see what happens with that. We're going to bring in Sorry. Els, can you remind me who won the Pro-Am class? Is it Mike Hamilton?
Not sure. We're going to have to look at the results. I don't want to give the wrong thing. Unless I can... Hold on.
Hang on. I got it. No, I got it. Matt Stolkup. Matt Stolkup's not in here. So we're gonna start with the winners. So we'll go to the AM winners, which was... Jeremy Stevens. So we'll bring in Jeremy Stevens. Els, take it away.
Jeremy Stevens, congratulations on your it's your AM win. How was that race?
It wasn't too bad. Stayed clean. Tried to just run a clean race. I think it did that pretty well, and results speak for it.
Were you impressed with the rest of the drivers this time, or how were you feeling about the entire race?
Yeah, I think overall it went well for most people. No full course cautions this time, so I think that speaks well for everybody.
Absolutely. Now, was there any tire wear issues or any corners that really just was like, man, I need to change tires? Did you guys change tires at all?
No, I didn't have to change tires at all. The only corner I historically have problems with is the last corner before the long straight. It's just, that left, right, just getting that rhythm down. But overall, the car felt good the whole race.
Absolutely. And now, did you have any shout outs that you wanted to give?
Yeah, shout out to Dakota for just running an awesome league. You know, every week, you know,
Absolutely.
it's crapshoot what it ends up being, but this week was awesome.
Absolutely. And yeah, once again, man, thank you for coming out and racing, and thanks for interviewing with us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Jeremy Stevens, your AM winner. We're going to bring in our next Kristen LaRochelle, who was second place in the AM class. So we're going to bring him in. Actually, you know what? Let's see. I think David Culpepper was third. We got Richard Sidursky. So we're going to bring in Richard Sidursky because Matt Stallcup was not available. So we'll bring in Richard Sidursky, came second place in the Pro AM. Richard, congratulations on your second place in the Pro-Am class. We saw you have that contact earlier on in the race, but ended up coming in second. How was it for you out there?
That was pretty good. I tried to keep it clean. Yeah, I did have that incident. It kind of damaged my car. It slowed the car down a little bit, but other than that, I just tried to keep it clean.
Yeah, no, heck of a race from you out there. Any particular corners that were exceptionally difficult? We saw a number of drivers get caught out, especially later in the race at turn 17. The bumps just biting drivers left and right as the session winded down. Anything like that for you out there?
Well, I had a little scare at the final lap in Sunset.
Well, fair enough.
Started to slide, so yeah, right there was pretty tricky.
All right. Well, congrats on your second place. Do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to give tonight?
Shout out to Dakota and obviously Savage Sim Racing. So,
all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Congratulations on your P2 in the Pro-Am class, and we'll see you next week at Long Beach.
thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. That was Richard Sidursky. We're going to bring in Mike Hamilton. I believe that was the third place in Pro-Am. So, Els, here is Michael Hamilton.
Michael Hamilton, how are we doing tonight? Congratulations on your third place podium.
I'm good. Thank you. How are you guys?
We are doing well. Have you had any trouble with this track tonight?
Not necessarily any more growing pains than Sebring usually brings. So it's a bit of a physical track in the LMP3. Super bumpy. I mean, it's bumpy regardless, but this car does not like the bumps. So Sunset and T1 were pretty rough, but besides that, I think it was pretty smooth sailing.
Awesome. Now, was the pitch strategy, or did the pitch strategy end up working out for you? Your pitch strategy?
It did. It did. I was able to overcut a little bit. I think one position, maybe two. So it worked out. I think I ended up even with the extra gallon that I put in the car. So I'm glad that it worked out how it did.
Awesome. And now, did you have any shout outs that you wanted to give?
Just shout out to my team, Savage Sim Racing. We got a lot of people on the grid, so always happy to get this podium for them and run a good race.
Absolutely. Now, thank you for racing with us and joining us in the interviews. You have a wonderful night.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Michael Hamilton. We're going to bring in David Culpepper. And looks like iRacing just kicked me out of the Sebring race, so I'm just going to bring this up for now as a cover. But we're going to go ahead and bring in David Culpepper. David, congratulations on your podium tonight. How was it for you out there?
Bumpy. My hands are shaking because of how roughed up that track is.
Yeah, especially turns 1 and 17. We saw towards the end of the race session there. Bunch of drivers got caught out by the bumps there as the tires wore down. Turn 17, a real problem for you, or were you able to tame it?
Which one's 17? Is that Sunset?
Yep, Sunset, the final corner.
Sunset. Yeah, no. Sunset gave me problems. I'd push out about 2-3 laps ago. I spun it there. Managed to recover for a podium, though, so it was a decent drive.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Congratulations on your podium. You have any shout-outs that you'd like to give tonight?
I'd just like to give a shout out to Big Boss Nate for giving me this chance at SSR.
All right, yeah, I think there's 9 or 10 of the Savage Sim Racing guys on the grid here in Kansas City Racing League. So you guys showing out real well, and congrats on the podium.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week at Long Beach. All right, next up we have Christian La Rochelle, who is an AM class finisher on the podium. Els, take it away.
Christian, congratulations on your podium in the AM class. How was that race for you tonight?
Can you hear us, Christian? Nope, there you are.
There we go. Oh,
Christian, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I was saying congratulations. How was your race?
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
I enjoyed
Did you have any tire wear issues? Any particular corners that you had trouble with?
Nothing wrong with the tires. Felt that they were pretty good this time around, even regardless of how bumpy the track is. But Sunset and turn 1, they're always the most difficult. But for me, it was actually turn 3, that braking zone. Lost it there, went a little wide, too deep, went on the grass. Other than that, it was a really good, fun race. Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys were putting in some good lap times and just really decent race this time around. Did you have any shout outs that you wanted to give?
To Nate and Mike Hamilton, Savage Sim Racing guys, doing pretty good, I'd say.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us and interviewing with us. You have a wonderful night.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you.
All right, that was Christian La Rochelle, one of the many Savage Sim Racing drivers here in Kansas City Racing League. We got Dakota Knapp here in the waiting room, so we're going to bring in the chief steward, OG gangster, fearless leader of Kansas City Racing League, and see what he has to say. So, Dakota, thanks for joining us tonight. Heck of a race, a ton of action on track, and it was fun to watch from a broadcaster. How was it from race control?
This week from race control's perspective was a lot better. I'm very proud of the whole field for this week.
Yeah, no, it was a ton of fun to watch. A little bit of paint trading here and there is kind of expected, and I think it was the right amount. And there was actually a number of times that we happened to be watching that a couple drivers got into each other, and then the driver who got ahead actually gave the position back. So whatever you did, whatever you said, worked great. The drivers looked awesome. The race looked awesome, and huge thanks to you for that. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, just the good props to the drivers for following the rules, doing the thing that they need to do. Heads on shoulders this week, and proud of everybody. I did make 2 key changes. We did go back to the pole sitter is in control of the field, but the more specific change that we made was we reintroduced the starting formation rule. So all drivers must stay in their starting column. They cannot overtake or change column before they each individually cross that starting line. So I think that has played a giant role in keeping the race start nice and clean. It gets everybody kind of spread out more naturally. And that way it just kind of kills that chaos really early on. And that's what Chris Becco was talking about early on, was that start being reviewed. So yeah, right. Little changes here and there, and here we go.
Yep. I had a great time. I know Els did too. After last week, I was super happy to see everything go the way it did. So, huge thanks to you for getting everyone back on track. And next week at Long Beach, that's going to be a busy session for you in the race control booth. So best of luck there.
The walls will be painted, that's for sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Dakota, for joining us. And we will see you all next week at Long Beach.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Els. So that covers all of our interviewees, including the chief race steward. Just final thoughts. I mean, I thought it was a great race. A ton of great action on track. Ton of great back and forth. Some real 4D chess matches happening. 3D chess matches happening all across the grid and all different parts of the track. Final thoughts from you, Els?
I'd like to say, man, shout out to all the drivers that, kept it in line, and realize that, hey, this is just for fun. And I mean, yeah, we're competing for points, but let's have fun. I love to see the giving back of positions and the sportsmanship and just the respectful nature of this league, which you don't see in officials. For one, you don't see that at all.
No, not at all.
And to see it in the league means, hey, I respect you as a driver, respect my space as a driver. We can enjoy this and not have to get into that negative space of racing that we don't ever want to get to when we're iRacing. So shout out to the drivers, shout out to Dakota Knapp, shout out to Brad Jorgensen, everybody that puts in their 2 cents to get a full dollar, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I think well said. Pretty much covered everything there, but with that being said, that's going to conclude our coverage of season 11, round 3 of the Kansas City Race League Tuesday night main event, presented by Dad's Racing Service LMP3 Challenge. A huge thanks to all the drivers that participated tonight and to Dakota and his crew for putting on this league. I'm TJ Yankee.
And I'm Lesean Young-Dilworth.
And that's going to conclude our broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you back for round 4 of the LMP3 Challenge at Long Beach next Tuesday at 8:55 p.m. Eastern. Thank you and good night.